What's good, YouTube? It's Justice I Used to Be Pay, and today I'm back with another video. And in this video, I'm gonna talk about Drake and 21 Savage's It's All a Blur tour and why every single rap show should aspire to be like Drake and 21 Savage's. Now, real quick, make sure you leave a like, leave a subscribe. I'm trying to pay off that college tuition, so make sure you do all that. But recently, I went to the It's All a Blur show in Phoenix, Arizona for the tour that consists of Drake and 21 Savage, and I'm basically gonna give you not only my thoughts on the show and give you a recap of it, but also talk about why this show was really good in my opinion. And how this show was pretty much the exact opposite of what I complained about in my I'm glad these rappers are struggling to sell tickets video. Now real quick, I just want you to see the merch. This is a piece of merch that I got at the show. I actually ended up getting 2 t-shirts. It's a kind of a funny story. Me and my girl were waiting in line and we're sitting there, we're waiting. I'm going to just buy 1 t-shirt. They're like $45. I'm not trying to spend any more money than I already have. And so we're in line and then these 2 ladies are like, yo, like if you get me a t-shirt, I'll buy you one for free. So just like she gives me her card and I end up buying her a shirt. And with her card, I buy myself another shirt and then I just buy a shirt for my own. So I only spent $45, end up getting 2 shirts. It was a pretty sweet deal. I don't know. All I can say is look at God. That's all I can say because he knew I already spent a whole bunch of money. And so shout out to that lady who didn't want to wait in line and just gave me her card, which is kind of crazy because I really could have just took her card and ran, but whatever. And also for this video, I'm going to be using my own footage. I recorded from my seats. You know, it's going to be a little goofy, a little zoomed out. I'm not going to play the sound, obviously, because I don't want the videos to get taken down. But I will be showing you some of the stuff from my perspective of the show. Now, Drake put on a great performance, I must say. 21 Savage put on a good performance. And it's not like either of these guys are all-time classic performers like Beyonce or Michael Jackson. Like, they're not going to give you just the best performance you've ever seen in your life. But they still managed to make this show fantastic despite the fact that neither of them are just like top tier, S tier performers. Drake is a pretty good performer, I would say, but that's not something that I would be like, oh my God, Drake does the best, but he's a pretty solid performer. Now, just to start off with like the set pieces and stuff, the set pieces were crazy. The stage itself was really just like a black square, but it acted as like an LED screen. So there was a whole bunch of graphics popping up on it, a whole bunch of different stuff. A star system was all on the floor. It was a whole bunch of crazy things. And I just have to go through the list real quick. There was the CGI actor there. The CGI young Drake was there. The big Virgil statue where he's holding the paper airplane. There was an actual airplane like thing floating around the arena at times. There was a big blow up stripper doll with like fake boobs, which honestly, the timing of it was very suspicious because that big blow up stripper doll with the big fake boobs came out during Drake's verse on Sicko Mode, where he's rapping about going to Kim and Kanye's house. So maybe it was like it was supposed to be like Kim K. I don't know. I might be reaching, but it just felt a little suspicious that for some reason that doll came out during that part. It was also there during the performance of Way Too Sexy, which makes sense. But for a song like Sicko Mode to have a random doll with big, I don't know. Just was a little suspicious in my opinion. There was like this wedding dress thing that was flying around. There was a flying Peter Pan. There was a giant ghost face from the Scream movies that was like waving a knife, like kind of like it was like shank in the air. The stage would also lift up at certain points. Like there were certain corners of the stage that would just like go higher and Drake and 21 would be rapping on those at certain points throughout the show. There was also like flying human male secretion. I think that's the way I can get around saying it. Yeah, for some reason, really weird. There were dancing robots too. There were dancing robots that like shined lights onto the stage, and all around like the set and the production, it was just great. It looked great. It was fantastic. The lights were really cool. They were doing different stuff with like these lights that were dimming and then they would go up and it was like laser beam. Like it was great. There was a UFO that went over Drake at a certain point. Like there was just a whole bunch of stuff going on outside of just them rapping or them singing that made it also really cool. And this may sound kind of corny, but this really felt like they gave it their all. Like it felt like they really cared about this specific show. They really, really cared about night 2 in Phoenix, Arizona. They really sat down and said, look, we got to give Phoenix, Arizona on the second night the best performance we could on the tour. Like that's honestly what it felt like. That may not have even been true. They might have been like, man, I hate Arizona. I hate being here. The crowd sucks here. These people suck. They don't brush their teeth, whatever. They could have felt like that and they could have hated us the entire time. But the show that they gave did not feel like that. It felt like they actually cared. And maybe that was, that might have just been them trying to do that on purpose, but it really did feel like they actually cared about the show, which made the show that much better in my opinion. Even if they didn't care for Phoenix, even if they didn't care for that show specifically, even if they just were really just mailing it in, it didn't feel like it. And that's all that matters. If the audience felt like you gave them a good show, that's all that matters. If you were just half-assing it and it still ended up being great, that's great. Continue to do that. Continue to half-ass it. So maybe they didn't care about Phoenix at all. Maybe they didn't care about Night 2, but it really didn't feel like it. It really felt like this was like a show like Gunna just did in the Barclays, where it's like he was only performing on that night in particular. That's how that show felt. And to do a recap of the entire show, pretty much, the opener was Central C, which is pretty cool. I like Central C. It was really weird that he was the opener just because he's from London and we're in Arizona. And it's like, if somebody's from London, typically they'll be in like New York or somewhere on the East Coast if they're going to do a show in America, at least if they're going to open a show and not do their own tour. So it was really weird to see him in Phoenix, Arizona. Like, even if you're going to go to the west side of the United States, it'd normally be like LA. So really strange, but I'm not mad he was there. I like some of his songs. He did pretty well. He's still kind of green as a performer, but he is very new to performing, I'm pretty sure, and rapping in general. His career is still really, really young. So he's pretty green, but he had some songs that everyone knew and got lit to, and it was pretty cool. Then after that, Zach Bia pretty much did the DJ for the night leading up into Drake's performance, and he did really well. Played some bangers from back in the day, from now, not just from Drake, but from a whole bunch of different artists. And I must say, it felt like Zach Bia was my personal friend. I feel like we're boys because I made a video talking about Yeet and his management and how great they're doing, and he reposted it. So, I feel like we're friends. I feel like we're boys. So, shout out to Zach Bia for doing his thing, even though, I'm obviously kidding. But yeah, he did his thing. He did really well in the DJ set, and then Drake came out. He started in the crowd and made his walk, and, everybody was going crazy. That was honestly one of the loudest arenas that I've probably ever been in. So shout out to everybody that was in the crowd in Phoenix. But Drake did his performance, he did his thing, and Drake really did a combination of the two type of performances that you typically see nowadays. He did a combination of like maybe like a Weekend style performance and like your average trap rapper like Lil Baby type of performance. So like on the songs where Drake was singing or rapping slowly, even something like Look at What You've Done, he was rapping it all by itself. No backtrack, no nothing. He was rapping it. And then on like the singing songs, he would just sing the songs. There was really no backtrack. So on the songs that were slower, it was all Drake. He was just singing it. He was rapping it slowly, whatever. But on the songs that were lit, some of the hype songs, the jumping around, running around type of songs that he performed, there was a backtrack and he's jumping around and he's running around and he's rapping the words. And it was kind of similar to like a rapper, like a trap rapper performance. And then the other stuff was kind of similar to like more like an R&B or a pop type of performance where they're really just singing the song and that's all you hear. But then on the lit songs, he did the typical lit performance, which I thought was a cool blend because obviously I don't want to see Drake just jump around and do all the regular trap rapper stuff. I want to see Drake actually sing and actually, because he has a lot of songs that are slow songs, singing songs that I actually want to hear him sing. So that was really cool. And Drake throughout his performance would like stop and give us inspirational speeches for some reason. Like this was maybe just to fill time. But again, stuff like this made the show feel a lot more personal than your average show. He would stop and talk about how much he loves Phoenix, Arizona, and how Phoenix, Arizona is one of his favorite places to go in the world. And obviously, pretty much every single performer does that when they're in a city. They gas up the city, but Drake was just doing it so much that I pretty much believe him at this point. Like, I really do think he might actually really love Arizona. He talked about how he announced his album release date tonight, which he did on that day.
You heard me talking last night, I tell you this, and I'm honest with you, it's places that I like to go, It's places I like to go, for example, it's places that other people in the world love to go, like, people love to talk about going to New York City, Los Angeles, it's cool, but I'm gonna tell you, I love being in Arizona. This is my spot. I'm having a great day today. I announced my album's coming out, by the way. I don't know if you saw the news. September 22nd for all the dogs. Yeah.
And how it was only right to do it in Arizona and he had to do it in AZ. So again, probably just a happy coincidence, but it made us feel like he really cared about us. He stopped and, he talked about how, if you're doing bad in life, that's it happens. Everyone goes through their ups, they go through their downs, but let this show be kind of a distraction and just kind of have fun for the night, enjoy yourself, don't think about anything, just be free. And again, made us feel like it was a really kind of personal show. He talked about how, when he first went to AZ and little stories like that. And then, he did the thing where people were throwing bras up and he was talking about that. Like, he just gave us a lot of pauses throughout the music that felt warranted and kind of gave not only us a break, but Drake himself, because I'm sure he was tired. He performed for like 2 hours straight. It gave him a little break, but also made and kept the fans engaged. It gave us something to hold on to besides like, okay, guys, Drake's going to take a little break. He's going to go to the back and, change outfits and take a sip of water and, maybe take a bite out of some pretzels. Like, no, he in those little break moments, he still gave us something that was really cool. And a lot of people are still probably going to hold on to. He talked about Arizona so much. He even said that, after his tour is over, he's going to come and live in Arizona for a month, which again, may have been a lie. Maybe he says that in every show he goes to, but it just felt like so specific that it was like, there's no way he's lying about that. That would just be a really weird thing to specifically lie about. If he said, oh, I'm going to move to Arizona, okay, that'd be, but he said he's going to live in Arizona for a month after his tour. So it might be true, honestly, but yeah, he just gave us a lot that made us feel like, man, this was a very specific show. He even said, like, during it, like, if you're sitting next to someone random, tell them they're beautiful, really weird stuff like that. But again, just made the crowd feel like they were important, made the crowd feel like this was a show for you. This wasn't just Drake showing up and getting a quick cash grab in Phoenix, Arizona and leaving. It felt like he really came to show love to the Arizona crowd. And Drake performed pretty much everything from the beginning to the end of his discography, all the way back to 2009 to 2023. And once about an hour hit, he took a little mini break, but he went over to the DJ booth, which I'm sure they do in every show. And the DJ played like club remixes of Drake songs. And they were all like great Drake songs that you'd love to hear at a performance, but they weren't like the top Drake songs that just had to be on the set list. So it was like stuff like Passion Fruit, like a song like Passion Fruit. That's a great song. I'd love to hear it, but it's not like necessary on a Drake performance like some of his newer stuff. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, it's not something super important that has to be there, but it's a good song that people love. So they put it on the little club remixes. Drake is sitting there taking a break. The DJ's mixing the songs together and stuff. And it was cool. They did that for about like 15-20 minutes. And then 21 Savage ended up coming out and doing his part of the performance while Drake was still kind of off to the side, or I don't know, backstage or something, whatever, something like that. And I didn't realize this until I was sitting at that show, but my Lord, 21 Savage has a lot of hits. And I don't just mean, good songs or banger songs. I mean, actual commercial hits. And a lot of them he's a feature on, or he's featuring somebody else on, but still, that man has a lot of hits. Like, in a versus, among like the modern trap artists from like 2016 on, he'd be pretty hard to beat. I'm not going to lie. Like, that man has hits. 21 Savage did his thing. He's rapping, whatever, doing all his songs. And 21 Savage isn't going to give you a whole bunch as a performer. He's not going to dance. He's not going to sing. He's not going to do. But again, still a very solid performance. Still felt like he gave a lot of his energy and effort into the performance. And then after about 20, 30, 40 minutes, maybe, I don't know, I was losing track of time in there, they went into the Drake and 21 Savage together portion of the show. They did their thing. They performed for about like 30, 40 minutes. They again stopped and gave us little mini speeches, which I'm sure, again, artists do this all the time, but it just felt really personal and helped add to like the aura of the show. They even brought somebody on stage who was rapping the lyrics with Drake and 21 Savage. And it was kind of funny because it was a white girl. And so it wasn't funny because she was white, but it was funny because it was a white girl and they brought her on stage, right? And like 21 Savage before she got on was like, I've never seen a girl know every single word to every single song, right? So they bring her on stage, they're rapping back and forth, and Drake gives her the microphone. So he hands her the microphone, but it was literally at a part, like one of the only parts in the song that specifically like emphasized the N-word. So he gives her the microphone. She starts rapping. He realizes, and then he just kind of like snatches it back and starts laughing. It's kind of funny just to avoid the whole thing, because I know y'all remember the whole like Kendrick Lamar incident where the white girl said the thing on stage. So it was kind of funny, a little funny moment. But yeah, it was a very overall good show, good performance from them two at the end. And then Drake finished the show with a couple of solo songs outside of 21 Savage, 21 Left. Drake did a couple of extra songs that aren't listed on the official track list, like Wu-Tang Forever. And he sung these songs. He specifically sung these songs. These were all songs where he was singing the entire song. It wasn't him rapping with the backtrack. And it was cool. It was cool. It was a cool moment. It made us feel special. Again, something little extra, just that little extra percentage of effort that an artist can give to make the fans feel special. Gave us a couple extra songs that weren't on the set list that he didn't do in every single city. So it was pretty cool. And then the show ended. And I must say, the tickets for this show were pretty expensive, especially for me because I bought them kind of late. In total, it was like $485 a piece. And then the fees, which Y'all got to stop with that. All y'all ticket selling sites, y'all got to stop with the fees, bro. I bought this ticket online and they gave me $300 worth of fees. $300. It was like $155 a fee for each ticket. So I ended up spending like $1,200 on these tickets, but I do think it was worth it. It was very fun. It was an exciting show. And it was great. I 100%, if you're still thinking about going, I know that the tour doesn't last for much longer, maybe like a little less than a month. But if you're still looking at it last minute, the tickets are kind of expensive, and you really love Drake, and you really love 21 Savage, those are really some of your favorite guys. I 100% think you should spend the money because it was a great show. At least in Phoenix, Arizona on night 2, it was a fantastic show. And I also came away from that concert really thinking like, man, Drake really is an all-time great. And I know it kind of sounds like I'm glazing, but I just don't see how people like don't like Drake. I just don't get it. I really don't. I don't see, not him personally, but his music. I don't see how you can look through his career from 2009 all the way up until now and just not be a fan of it. I don't know. It's just, again, it's all subjective, but me personally, I just don't see how anyone could not be a fan of Drake. And just overall, the show was great. And despite the fact that this show was towards the end of their tour, like it's coming to an end pretty soon, it still felt like they gave 100% effort, maybe even 110%. Like typically towards the end of a tour, people can kind of start to mail it in a little bit, which makes sense. You've been on tour for months. It's tiring. You're up every night. You're driving everywhere. That like it sucks. It's a terrible thing for the human body and the human mind. I get it. But they really gave us maximum effort, or at least it felt like it. Maybe it wasn't, maybe it was fake, but it felt like they gave us maximum effort despite it being towards the end of their tour. Like it felt like Drake saw me spend about 60% of what was in my bank account and was like, hey bro, I got you. I know you just spent a lot of money. I got you, bro. We gonna make it worth your time. That's what it felt like. That's what the show felt like. Again, this could have all been fake. Drake could have not gave a rat's ass about this show, but he didn't make it feel like it. And that's all that matters because we don't know. We don't know Drake. I don't know Drake. I don't know him at all. So who knows if he was giving effort, but all it matters is that it felt like he was. I don't know 21 Savage. All I know is that it felt like he was. And that's all that really matters at the end of the day. And that's all you can really ask for in terms of like these performers. I know in my video, I asked for a lot. I was like, you know, do this, do that, which I still stand on like 100%. Rappers, I'm paying a lot of money. I expect a lot. But at the end of the day, if you can at least make me feel like you tried, I can respect that. And that's a lot of the biggest issues with these rap performances nowadays. They don't replicate that respect that artists replicate to them. It feels like that you're below them, you're beneath them. They're going to do what they want up there. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. Tough. But that felt like a show where Drake respected my ticket just like I respected his artistry. He felt like he had to give me what I gave him. Pause. Major pause. But you get what I'm saying? And so that's why I felt the show was great. And every rap show should aspire to be like that. I know not every rap show is going to have the type of money that Drake and 21 have to put into production and their sets and the lights and the big floating things going around the arena. I 100% get that. But you can give us that effort. You can give us that energy. And Drake, I know he went on tour like last time, like 7 years ago or something like that. So he hasn't been touring for a long time and he has a lot of energy probably to put into this. But if you're an artist out there performing, you don't have to be Drake. You don't have to put in hundreds of thousands of dollars to your production in every single city. But if you can give us that little extra effort, that little extra, you know what? I feel like I was appreciated here tonight. That goes a long way. I promise you. So this tour was great. If you haven't been on it, you should go on it. If you missed out on it, you definitely missed out. But yeah, that's going to be the end of my video. And again, every rap show should really aspire to be like this tour. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this show sucked. Maybe in your city, Drake literally went on stage and just farted and didn't care about anything. He sat there, he let the songs play, and he rapped. He pointed the mic to y'all the entire time and said, rap the songs for me, because he didn't feel like doing it. Maybe that's what happened in other cities, but in Phoenix, Arizona on night 2, it was a fantastic performance, and I greatly appreciate it. And if you made it to the end of this video, I greatly appreciate you. Leave a like, leave a subscribe. Even if you disagree with me, leave comments down below calling me an idiot, telling me I look ugly, and my mom doesn't love me. Whatever you got to say in the comments, I'll take it, positive or negative. But again, if you made it this far, I greatly appreciate it. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe. I'm trying to pay off this college tuition. But have a good day. Be safe. Be blessed. Peace.